McQueen has decided to show his new collection in New York. Happens to be the same night that gale force winds are bearing down on the city. In London, we used to call him Alexander the Great. In New York, I guess he's Hurricane Alex. When they heard he was showing in New York for Spring 2000, fashionistas worldwide braced themselves for another epic Alexander McQueen event. But despite a huge buzz surrounding the show, specific details of what he had planned were hard to come by. The show's venue, a giant pier on the Hudson River, and its rumored price tag of $1 million, were the only clues to be found prior to showtime. There's a real sense of anticipation today, isn't there?
There certainly is. I've never done a show in the middle of a hurricane before, so it's quite exciting. And I mean, it's always exciting to do an Alexander McQueen show. There's always this like buzz, but I mean, in the middle of a hurricane, I mean, we could be like flying off the pier and everybody would think it was part of the show. That's what's so scary about the whole thing.
From a model's perspective, how does it feel today? Is there more of a sort of tension than you've ever felt backstage before?
Yeah, like she said, there is the hurricane outside and the hurricane inside, so we have to wait and see what is going to happen with all of us today.
A McQueen show is an event. Anything else is a fashion show, but there's a handful of designers that you'd put in there, McQueen, Galliano, Gaultier maybe. Their shows are mega events, and McQueen is a mega event, and he delivers, you know, and there's always a surprise. There's always something cheeky, and there's always a wink. So that's why people schlep here. There's a monsoon happening in New York today, the night of McQueen's show, and I had to crawl under the subway to get here, but I know it's going to be worth it.
Were you at all intimidated by the natural elements today?
What about the hurricane? I mean, the mayor giving sort of like a state of emergency. I mean, that's a normal day in London. And the whole place shuts down. Hello? It's like, keep it real. I mean, it's a bit of water. You know.
Did he try to shut you down?
No, I rung him up from my hotel room. I said, you're going to give me $1 million because that's how much it cost me.
Actually, the bill for the show was paid for by the fine folks at American Express, who discovered that when you give $1 million to a man with 1 million ideas, you end up with 1 million expensive ideas. What was the story that we were seeing unfold there? What do you reckon it was all about?
Oh, well, I know it had something to do with Istanbul.
Witches, Arabs in leather.
The amazing thing is that there were so many messages. You know, the whole Spanish thing, the whole Arab thing. I think he hit every country there was to hit.
Everybody has a different take on what they saw, but I guess the most relevant to me seemed to be that it was about liberation.
Very good. It was like bringing two worlds together, so like the Islamic world and the capitalist society as we know it, be in England or America, but also the freedom of Islamic women, so like unveiling them, and because I believe in sort of like equality, and you don't get so much of that in Islam, so.
But if you look past the show's political subtext and high production value, what are you left with?
I think that McQueen's show was, a huge, massive spectacle. Everyone turned out. The space was incredible. The show was incredible. But at the end, I think he's trying to make his point to say, I'm different, I'm doing this. But he doesn't even change the clothes in the showroom to give us real clothes to wear to work in everyday life, to evenings, to affairs. What you see is what you get from that show.
It's fashion as very, very high concept, isn't it?
It truly is fashion as art and spectacle, much more so than fashion as something to wear.
The presentation was terrific, but halfway through the show I was thinking, well, these are all great and theatrical, interesting clothes, but I'm not sure how much of it is wearable, and I feel like I've seen it before. But, it's inevitably you sort of applaud him. He's in his own world or something, or he's doing it on his terms. I don't know what cliche you can apply to it, but you still want to see what he's going to turn on.
every collection I go with the flow. If there's mistakes, I take them on board. But I have to do what my heart says, you know. When I design a collection, it's what my heart's telling me to do, not my brain. And then I have to take responsibility for the mishaps. If America doesn't understand it, that's not really my problem.
Why did you decide it was so important for you to show in New York at this point?
It's a business thing. It was to get my profile built bigger here. I mean, I don't know if it will now, though, with the Islamic side of it. I mean, the middle America are just going to clean me out for good. I'm never going to... Everyone in Kentucky, it's only a joke.